Hello and welcome to Ham Nation, episode 607 for September 24th, 2025. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ham Nation. I am Josh KI6NAZ. Thanks so much for coming out. Got another packed show with a new segment I'm quite excited to hear more about. But you're going to hear all about it with me because we're going to go say hi to the hosts and let's learn some more. Host, how are you this evening?
Hey there.
Hey.
Hey.
Gordo's looking very yacht-friendly, sitting on top of the pyramid here. How are you doing, Gordo, today?
Well, I'm doing well. We didn't go out on the boat this past weekend for the microwave, but we did do a lot of land roving, and it was fun.
Fantastic. Well, we will be sure to hear more about that. And Don, how are you? Very tropical as well. Look at you.
Thank you. I'm great. I'm wonderful. I'm having a good day today, having a good week. We do not have anything from Dr. T tonight because today is her daughter's 16th birthday. So she's been busy doing a Sweet 16 thing today. So, of course, you can always check her out in the normal spots, the spaceweatherwoman.com and her X feed at Tamitha Scove and on Facebook as well. But we will have a report from Amateur Radio Newsline. So we got that going for us, which is nice.
Very nice indeed. Amanda, how are you?
I'm fine. Actually, I'm better than fine. I'm pretty good, even though fall is my worst season. I don't like it. I don't like to see my plants die, but everybody else is so happy in fall. So it kind of makes up for it because everyone else is in a good mood. So I accept that. Other than that, I've just been super swamped with amateur radio stuff, all in all, planning a 5K, 8-mile half marathon that we're supporting. Oh, our whole statewide set. I have just put out the paperwork for that. And also, again, getting HamCon Colorado ready for the end of October. So, of course, everyone, there's still time to register if you want to join us for that. But for tonight, I'm going to be watching the chat room. We're going to be talking about HamCation, and I am bringing a new segment, and I'll let everyone ponder what that's going to be. But we'll also have Ham It, Can It, or What Am It. So stick around. It's going to be a good night tonight. Let's see, where are we going to go? We're going to go back up to Gordo. Take it away, Gordo.
Well, thanks, and we sure welcome everyone from Orlando. Good to see familiar faces. Well, this past weekend was part 2 of the American Radio Relay League's microwave contest. And a lot of hams say, why microwave? What's the big deal about that? Well, the big deal is it's wonderful, especially to get kids involved, because as we go into space more and more, they're doing it on microwave frequencies, those right next to the ham radio band. So hang on, we're going to go even higher than your microwave oven. In fact, some of the goodies we use in microwave contesting are microwave oven leakage detectors. That's a cheap way of making sure that your microwave gear is going. So let's jump in and see where we're going to go with microwaves. Well, we're going to start out with the Microwave San Bernardino Microwave Society, and they are a leading group on the West Coast, and we have groups all over the country, indeed, that are testing out their microwave gear ahead of the big contest. And again, this was part 2 of the contest, and they were microwave operators in Arizona, and you can see that they were using microwave gear, but sort of a scaled down version with just a small horn. But let me tell you, when conditions are good, you can get on 10,000 megahertz a good signal coming out of even the smallest of antennas, including some brand new printed circuit board phased array antennas that microwave experts were using. Well, we had one microwave operator who's been operating microwave much longer than I have, and that's Pat, N6RMJ. And you may think that, well, microwavers, they just sort of sit at home. Oh, no. Pat will tell you he's put a few miles.
N6RMJ. I'm presently just got home. I just finished working K6NKC on Fraser Mountain from Bullhead City, Arizona. And that was a 406 kilometer path.
400 plus kilometers. Let me tell you, with just a few watts of power, Pat was working a host of stations in about 8 different grids on the first time and about 6 different grids on the second time. And his maximum distance was 603 kilometers. But the best part about the microwave contest is while the DXers in heavy into contesting are working each other, Pat would go out of his way to make sure that those that were just on the air for maybe the first time or just getting started, he would continuously say, "Who would like to get on the air and work me?" Not for making a contest, but for Pat to be able to take gear like this and put it into action over 400 and 500 kilometers. Well, the heart of microwave gear is the transverter. And transverters come out of Europe. KUHNE, Kuhn is one of the leading suppliers, and they take the signal from the rig that you're going to supply. And that could be your own rig right now. And we'll talk about that shortly. And transverters are available for 10 gigahertz. That's 10,368 megs, 24,000, 47,000, 79,920, and even laser. Well, not transverters for each one that are already pre-assembled, but hams go together and put them together, add them like this. Well, my setup is modest. It's just 10 gigahertz, just 10,000 megs, just above your microwave oven frequency. And we like to go portable and get as many kids or adults involved in playing radio and get them on the air. And you'll see that the green box is what we've home brewed together, and that's where the transverter is inside. But the signal that we're tuning in is tuned in by our IF radio, which in this case is a Kenwood single sideband 2-meter radio. 10-meter radios with SSB capabilities will work just fine. CW as well. And 440 radios, same thing. They work as well. But 2 meters is one of the most popular bands to drive your microwave transverter. So we get it all put together, and we always make sure and gotta look at the weather chart. And this is windy, windy.com. It's a free weather program. Write this down, windy, windy.com. It'll knock your socks off because not only do they give you visuals from space, but they'll tell you the pollen count, the dew count, the wind velocity, humidity. They give you so much information that the real microwave experts are tuning them in to see where their range is going to be. And as you can see here, they got some big clouds coming over San Diego to LA, but LA northbound looks in the clear. So you would think, well, that's too bad, clouds. Well, we thought we would try and see what happens with clouds. So in Southern California, the LA area, we get to a spot and aim our signals southbound down to San Diego. On each one of the big areas that you want to get into, they usually have a beacon, and the beacon is on continuously. So you think, boy, I got to get to a high spot to be able to make this thing work. And a lot of brand new microwavers will go to the peak of a hilltop or a mountain, and they go, oh boy, this has got to be a good spot because look at all the commercial broadcast stuff. And they don't work squat. And they go, what the heck's going on? They look at their power out. Yeah, I got a half a watt coming out. They hear nothing. And that's because if you get right underneath these commercial towers, they're going to hammer your IF rig and absolutely numb it for any good work with your transverter. So even though it's tempting to go right next to where mountaintop antennas are located, you got to separate away because our ham rigs are not immune to the strong kilowatt, maybe megawatt signals coming out of some of these locations. So we went to an ideal spot that overlooked the ocean and San Diego. That's our setup there. Now, if you look real carefully on the feed horn that's sticking out on the left, you'll see a little string hanging down and a little weight on it. And you go, what the heck is that? Is it like fishing? No, that's the way I make sure that my antenna is plumb with a horizon. It's nothing more than a weighted piece of string that lets me know that my dish is not pointing too far up or too far down. Our battery system was a 20 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery from BioEnno. They're a Southern California group. They are so friendly to work with. And the neat thing about the BioEnno, as I found out this past weekend, was it gives you a second chance. One of my leads got loosed, arced over the ground, and I thought, poof, I've had it now. Nope. The BioEnno in about 170 milliseconds will disconnect the 12 volts, and you simply refeed it any other 12 volts. It'll pop back on, and we're still good to go. So it's good to have a good battery that's going to react to an accidental momentary short circuit. And 20 amp hours, that's actually more than we really needed for the weekend. We could get by with even the smaller 12 amp hours. So they're a real friend of ham radio operators. Well, that's my wife, Susie, in 6GLF. And we're making contacts about 80 miles away down to San Diego. And they kept fluctuating up and down. Duh. I looked and I saw that they were right in line with a dish in line with a tree branch. And you see the tree in the foreground there. All I needed to do was to pick up the tripod and the works, move it about 10 feet. Bango. They came in from S3 to S4 to about 20 over S9. So if you're doing microwaves, especially on the higher bands like 24 and 47 gigs, you got to make sure that you don't have any foliage in the path that you're going to. All right, so we get things going, and my notes indicate that I've got to tune everything minus 12 kilohertz. Why? Well, everything gets multiplied by about 10 times, going from my 2-meter radio up to 10,000 megs, even more than 10 times. And so any little heat that builds up in the radio is going to throw the radio's oscillator one way or the other. They're not temperature compensated. So you need to make notes that when you turn on the radio, which I did about 2 hours before we started working, to calibrate it. And you do that off the beacons. Or sometimes when you find someone, you just say, how close am I to on frequency? Well, Gordo, you're about 5 kc low. And with a rig, you can go ahead and do it. It's tempting to use the RIT on your IF rig driving the microwave transverter. But if you do that, you'll chase each other up and down the band. So maybe use the RIT to look for a signal by listening to it. And once you find it, then you need to take that RIT, put it to almost zero, and then with the main dial, you're going to be transmitting and receiving on the same frequency. So don't rely on your RIT to be where you should be, and that is spot on frequency. And that's what we're doing right here, is finding the channel, sometimes with the RIT, and then zeroing in with the big tuning knob. Now, for those of you with real new radios that have a spectrum waterfall display, look at this. That's the way to see what's up the band by 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 kilohertz on your IF radio, and that makes tuning easy. I didn't have that luxury with my older Kenwood. I did it by ear. But that's the benefit of ICOM's new microwave rig setup. They have the scope so you can actually see all the signal carriers that are on the air. Well, you notice I got one mic in the mouth and one mic on my shoulder. 2 mics. Yes, on microwave contests, you make contact on UHF through a repeater, and ours was the wonderful Cactus system, plus others up and down the state of California, Arizona, and Nevada. And that allows stations to coordinate where they're going to hook up with each other and make their calls. It's not like you just sort of tune around and find somebody calling CQ. Nope, it's all coordinated. So you got to have 2 good ears that are playing, one to hear what's happening on microwave, then the other one to coordinate it. And that was a neat thing about Pat. He would continuously come out there on the coordination channel and say, who would like to make a contact?
With rain scatter. And I also work WA6CDR a little bit closer. I haven't figured that one out, but not too much difference in the distance.
So Pat is a true ham radio ambassador that would go out of his way to drive over 800 miles in 2 days to give out contacts, especially for those new hams that we were helping along to get started. Well, once we worked all of San Diego southbound, we then went to the other side of the hill, and we found that we could still work San Diego stations 100 degrees out. And if you look real carefully, how'd we do that? Well, that's the Palos Verdes Peninsula, and we simply bounce a signal. You know, radar is what we detect and see return echoes. We get good echoes off of mountaintops in the distance, and many times stations will work each other, not direct path, but rather via the mountaintop reflection. So, neat things. You got to look at the horizon and see what's out there if you're going to make contact. We've made contacts also off of aircraft, and they're brief ones, but you can still, if you're really quick, do that as well. And here's about 800 feet, and that's a nice elevation because it puts you right in the middle of a tropospheric duct that usually forms in most microwave areas, and that gives you extended DX range. And as we get closer, then as you can see in the background, the fog began to come in. Well, it's just a brief little passing cloud. So we started looking around, and then I realized behind me was a fun sign. We were right by a road that said speed checked by radar. And then I understood why people coming around the corner would go, they thought we were checking their speed. Well, that happens. And through Doppler shift, it makes microwave pretty interesting when you're working stations. And now you got to use your RIT to catch up with them via Doppler shift. Most of the microwave operators use a dish antenna. Mine is what we call a Cassegrain feed. We found one brand new operator with the ICOM, and I said, "You did rotate at 90 degrees." And he said, 90 degrees. And the operator said, "Well, what do you mean?" And I said, "Well, we're cross polarized." So he managed to turn his parabolic reflector 90 degrees, and he went from S2 to 40/9. So polarity is critical when you're working microwave. And here on the West Coast, all of our communications are horizontally polarized. And the bigger the dish, the tighter the beam width. As we got to the second day, that's Susie in 6GLF, and she's getting tuned into some of the beacons. And as you can see, it's strictly a portable operation, and it tuned in quite nicely. And once we got there, we saw a lot of brush that was in front of us, but it wasn't really raining yet. And that allowed us to be able to make some good contacts, even though we were just skirting the tops of the brush that you see in the background. The key is not to have a big tree in front of your microwave setup or a big mountain or a big building. But here out in the open, it was pretty good. The rain did come in just a little bit. And when it did, we found our signals were beginning to disappear. And then I realized I better take a look at the transition between the waveguide and the coax feeding the radio. Here we see that would be vertically polarized that you see there. And that goes to this. And notice the round circle on the microwave, flexible microwave gear for the antenna, and we lost that little O-ring. Well, that didn't hamper the signal, but it did let in a little bit of moisture. So as soon as we got the moisture out of the connection, our contacts were solid. And we saw these big, huge clouds, and most hams would go on microwave. Well, might as well pack it up. Oh, no. Pat, N6RMJ, who I hope is listening right now, made 5 or 6 really good contacts by bouncing signals off of all the moisture inside those clouds. So next time you see clouds coming over your setup, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, although it might be off of a reflection. So all in all, The hams on 10 gigahertz as well as 24 gigs, 47, 78 really had a great time bouncing signals, much like you see in our liquid tropo duct that we have here, where two signals are able to make contact each way thanks to a nice bounce with the, in this case, atmosphere. So to learn more, go to ARRL.org and slant bar microwave. Join a microwave club, because just going to a mountaintop on a contest weekend, that's nice. You'll hear a lot of signals, but they're more intent on working DX 3 and 4 and 500 miles rather than just a brand new operator going, can anybody hear me with my new ICOM setup? So join a club here on the West Coast at San Bernardino Microwave Society at groups.io for a good lookup address. But look at the ARRL pages by going to arrl.org/microwave and then beam in on some of the articles that are there, and you'll see what an infectious, wonderful time hams are having on frequencies higher than your microwave oven. So that's my story. It was a good week, and I applaud all of the about 30 microwave experts just right here in Southern California that lit up the bands in big style. So, Amanda, back to you if you may have any questions that I might be able to come up with an answer on.
Well,
Amanda?
I have some comments for sure. So Kevin W8BRY says, loving the microwave topic. Tried some contacts on 10 gig this weekend, but no luck as the conditions weren't right. I'm glad that we at least got one person involved in wanting to try this and have some fun with it. So Kevin, thanks for letting us know, and hopefully you will get your first contact and you can let us know how that goes. What were some of the other comments were mostly just about Brett wanted us to know water attenuation depends on the band. 24 gig and 60 gig are very strongly attenuated, but 10 gig is not. So just a lot of fun chit chat here in the chat room. So thank you, Gordo. Any questions, Josh, that I missed?
Yeah, Gordo, when you're talking about that ham that had the ICOM set up and they had their antenna set up for vertical polarization and you had to correct them, was that me, Gordo? Was I that ham?
Oh, that was not you that we had to correct, but I suppose when we made our contact, that was a brand new unit to all of us.
Right out of the
And
box.
none of us had a chance. In fact, I caution everybody, don't be staring down the front of any type of antenna like this if it's hooked up to the transmitter. But if you look real carefully inside here,
Oh, he's aiming it at us, guys. Duck.
You'll see the polarity, and you can tell just by bending the parabolic reflector one way or the other way. Oh, wow, this is getting better and better and better. And when you hit about 90 degrees, then we'll be properly horizontally polarized. But other parts of the country may indeed be operating vertical. So again, join a microwave group and join in and get kids involved, because microwave is how we're staying in touch with all the things in space. And the more we can do with microwaves, with all the great articles in QST magazine, the more that we're going to be prepared for kids to maybe get a job like you do, huh?
Very nice.
There you go. That's awesome.
You know, another nice aspect of this is if you're not making any contacts, at least you can always have a hot lunch. Warm up your hot pocket.
For your comments, and thanks, Gordo, for giving us your results and how it worked out.
Good stuff.
2 weekends ago. Let's see. Okay, we're going to go to ICOM.
Fun, sun, and QSO. Wherever you go, keep the fun going with one of ICOM's go-to rigs. As the days get longer and the bands heat up, make sure you're ready with a radio that works as hard as you do. So kick back and enjoy the breeze and make those QSOs with ease. Remote ready, contest capable, and built for serious signal, step into the future of amateur radio with ICOM's powerhouse trio. The IC7760 HF digital transceiver, the IC PW2 1 kilowatt HF 50 MHz linear amplifier, and the all-new RC7760 remote controller. Designed to work in perfect harmony, this system offers full remote operation, high output power, and seamless integration across the bands. The RC7760 remote controller serves as an extra control head, and up to 5 can be registered to the RF deck, though only one can be active at a time. For wireless connectivity, simply connect a commercially available Wi-Fi access point via the LAN port. Whether you're working from the shack, the field, or a remote site, you'll experience crystal clear audio, digital precision, and amplifier-grade power, all from a single unified interface. It's the ideal setup for contesters, MCOM operators, and high-demand users who expect more from their gear. The IC7300 combines intuitive touchscreen control, real-time spectrum display, and superior signal purity into one compact rig. Built for satellite, EME, and weak signal enthusiasts, the IC9700 combines all-mode operation on VHF, UHF, and 1.2 GHz. The IC705 go-to rig for outdoor hams who love POTA and SOTA activations. A large color touchscreen with real-time spectrum scope and waterfall display for intuitive function and setting operation. The IC705 provides big radio features and performance in the palm of your hand. Enjoy HF to 50, 144, and 440 MHz with D-Star, SSB, CW, RTTY, AM, and FM modes. For more information about all of ICOM's great amateur radios, visit icomamerica.com/amateur today.
And a huge thank you to ICOM for sponsoring us here on Ham Nation. Every time we go live, we give away 3 swag pack prizes, which include like a t-shirt, maybe a hat. This is all random. You don't know what you're going to get. That's what makes it so fun. Sometimes a bag, tablet, pen. You get the idea. All you got to do is take the link in the video description. I just dropped it in chat now because somebody said the link didn't work, and I don't know that that's right because I'm on it right now. This is it. And you click that Enter Now button. The Enter Now is just going to ask you like your name, your call sign. You don't have to have a call sign to win, and we've had that happen multiple times. But here's the best part. You see all these wonderful radios you see on the side here? Well, at the end of the month, ICOM will take all the winners of all the swag pack prize winners throughout the year. So we're getting to it's a sizable group now. They'll pick one of those names and they'll give away a radio. And this week, this episode, we're giving away another radio. So let's scroll down. Let's see. September, we're giving away an ICT-10. So first, the swag pack winners. Soren SKJ5LDV, Michael D, WE5DIC, and Steve SK3MOT. The grand prize winner is Thomas H, KN6KS. And so he's taken home that sweet ICT-10. Now, we are rolling into the cool part of the year where we're giving away some really amazing radios. So make sure you click that Enter Now button, get your call sign in there, get ready because this is it. This is like some peak prize giveaway. But it's always amazing to win a swag pack, and we super appreciate everything ICOM does for the ham radio community as well as supporting this channel. So thank you so much, ICOM. We very much appreciate it. I'm throwing it over to Amanda. We've got some news from our friends from HamCation, and obviously we want to hear some of what's going on for next year. We're already really excited because I think it's getting cold around everybody's homes, and we're already thinking about what Florida's going to be like in a couple of months here. So Amanda, take it away.
Oh my gosh. So when Mike reached out, hi, Mike, W4ORL is joining us, and Kevin, AA3XV. When he reached out and said, we got to make some announcements for HamCation. We'd like to join in on your show. I was thinking, man, you got to let our leaves fall off first. So we really, really want to be in Orlando. But I cannot believe it's already that time of year. And as I had a discussion, I don't like fall. You guys can have it. Anyhow, Mike, thanks for being here. Kevin, thanks for being here. What's going on, Mike? Tell us what we need to know about HamCation coming up sooner than I think it should be. Go ahead.
Oh, you're muted. Oh, Michael, you're muted.
That was shucks.
No problem. We'll cut that. Go ahead. Just go straight into it.
All right. Thank you for having us on the show tonight. HamCation is coming up quicker than you think. It's February 13th, 14th, and 15th, 2026. So we are currently in full swing HamCation mode, we call it. Getting everything prepared for HamCation. lots of new stuff for this year coming up. So we are the second largest ham fest in the world, right behind HamVention. This past year, we had 23,535
Wow.
attendees at the show.
Amazing.
It's been a good show. And like Josh said, the weather, that's one of the great things about HamCation coming to Orlando in February.
Absolutely. Now you guys you all have your awards, and they're a pretty big deal, and a lot of my friends have won it in the past, but you also have some new awards or something going on, don't you? Kevin, go ahead.
Kevin is also muted. Kevin, you're muted. Kevin,
Kev.
you're muted.
All right, as we unmute Kevin, let me just show you the awards, some of the awards and the trophies. These are not like little. I mean, this is 20 pounds.
Oh
this
my gosh.
This is some of the example of awards that they give out at
Beautiful.
HamCation. They really do it up big, as you can see.
All right, let's see if Kev's back with us now.
I don't hear you, Kevin. You may have to refresh the screen and set your mic. If you didn't do that, just go ahead and try that one more time. There. Oh, okay. That's a fast way of doing it. Kevin's going to reset his mic, and then he'll be right back with us. The advantage of using this new system is you can just refresh your browser, and then you can just reset the mic. It's not a big deal. So we will see if he joins us here in a second.
I've never been to Orlando. It's always a busy time of year, I always take a long break for the shop. We close around Christmas. It's hard for me to get there. But Josh, you go every year.
I do. It's a big, I'm kind of escaping good weather for great weather. It's not like I'm taking that big of a jump. And I will say, I say this every year. I feel like I'm at home because Orlando traffic is very much like LA traffic. We have a common
That sounds like a freaking
thread.
nightmare.
Yeah, it's very much the same.
Yeah.
Kev, did we get you?
Man.
Okay.
Except the thing is, you have
Yes.
Florida men down there in Orlando that you don't have in LA.
That's true.
true.
Florida
We
woman
don't
and
have
man.
Yeah. Kev, I think you're hot now. You're good, man. Go for it.
Yes.
Kevin, why don't we start from the top? Why don't you tell us about what's going on with the awards, and maybe there's a new award, and you
Sure.
can take it away.
Okay. Yeah. So each year we give out 3 awards at HamCation. Those 3 awards are the Carol Perry Educator Award, and they go to an individual who made an outstanding contribution to education and advancing young people in amateur radio. And the Gordon West Ambassador of the Year Award, and it's good to be here with Gordon today. That's given out annually for an outstanding amateur who represents and inspires others, that embodies the spirit of amateur radio and has made an outstanding contribution to the amateur radio community. And then we have a new award for 2026, which is the Amateur Radio Hero Award. And that award goes to an amateur that selflessly went above and beyond, providing their skills, equipment, and communications duty to the public in service of a disaster or in a moment of need, and just demonstrating how ham radio can be used to assist others. So that's the new award for 2026. And the nominations for these awards are now open. You can go to the HamCation website under event info and scroll down to awards, and you can click on any of those awards, as you can see on the screen here, and you can go in and fill out that form and nominate somebody who you think is eligible for these awards. We had 2 very good awardees last year, which you can see in the picture there. This is an event that we do annually, and attracts a lot of attention from the amateur radio community. And I think it's a really great thing to recognize people who've made contributions to our hobby and improved it for everybody.
And I'm looking over the award winners. We also had Neil Rapp, I think, won here as the Carol Perry Award winner, and obviously that's namesake is Gordon's. So, well, thank you. Mike, going back to you, what else is new this year? More vendors, more exhibitors.
Yeah, we're of course we're out almost monthly at different shows now, advertising HamCation, getting new vendors, stuff like that to come to the show. Last year we had a record uh, for new rent vendors at the show. We're hopefully going to do the same thing again this year. So lots of new vendors. We just actually had one sign up here recently. So yeah, we're looking at hopefully having a full show again, like always, and lots of new vendors to draw in more people in amateur radio, hopefully.
Fantastic. And then people like Josh will be doing his job and going around and filming everything and letting us all know that couldn't make it, what's going on there. Josh, you get all you YouTubers.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a great spot. I really do like the outfield area where you can go get some swaps action going on. It's one of the best ones in the game, I think. So, what's the RV situation like in the swaps area? Like, obviously, we're still early, but what's it shaping up to as far as enrollment this year?
Good question.
So far, it's been really good, especially RV. We're right on course with pre-sales from last year already. Our website did go open just prior to August 1. So everything is live. If you do have an RV, you can go on there, reserve your spot for the RV, full hookups, water, power at the location that you're at. We last year we had a record RV. I think it was like 231 RVs on site last year. So yeah, what's better than stay in your RV, walk out when the show opens, walk inside, you get tired, you just go back to your RV or go hang out
Heck
with
yeah.
friends and stuff like that. So
Or drag your goodies back that you don't have to carry around with you all day.
exactly.
Now, I see on your website, people can follow you on Facebook and X and Insta. So everybody be sure to go to their socials and follow them. That's probably the main way to keep up on all of the newest information, obviously. And anything else you gentlemen want us to know about HamCation?
You're correct about the following. They're all at HamCation. So all
Okay.
three of them's the same. You can follow us there. The website's the best place to get all new updates. So one thing is new this year. We haven't posted on the website, but I'll go ahead and make it live or make the announcement here tonight. Actually, I just got the text from somebody about it, so let me read it. So,
You're cleared to read it. You just got clearance.
news.
Here we go.
So it wasn't really clearance, but he reminded me of it. So we're actually partnering with W5YI for our testing for this year. So by doing this, they are actually to test at HamCation. It will be free of charge. So nice. Through them. Also, if you're a student under the age of 25, W5YI will actually pay for your FCC fee. So it's free to take the exam.
The $35?
Yeah.
They will actually pay the $35 for the student. So students will get their full thing for free. They don't have to pay nothing.
Wow,
so,
what a deal.
That is a good deal.
We're partnering with them this year. The info will go up on the website probably in the next week or so about all that, all the information, how to register. It's all up there now. You can go ahead and register now. But all the information about partnering with W5YI will be up there in the next week or so.
Okay, and one other very important thing that everybody comes for. Tell us about some of the prizes.
Last year we had over $25,000 in prizes.
Wow.
Big grand prizes on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have an early bird prize for everybody that comes in and registers early. Every hour I think we give out 10 plus prizes every hour throughout the whole show. We have lots of prizes. We give out hundreds of prizes over the 3 days.
And you do forums, right? This is very forum based as well.
Correct. We do forums. We have 3 tents that we do the forums in. So we got forums from almost everybody. And a lot of new forums I see this year too, starting to come in that people want to do new forums. I know one of them that's huge now that everybody's really getting into is Meshtastic.
Oh yeah.
I think
Oh yeah.
Josh has talked about it quite a bit. It's getting pretty big here in Orlando now. And I know several of the Meshtastic companies want to do forums also about that. So that'd be a huge one. I'm pretty sure that was going to draw lots of people.
I think so. Well, gents, anything else we need to know before we let you go?
2 more things real quick.
Yes, sir.
So biggest thing is keep the eye on the website. Everything will be updated there. When the forums go live later this year, we'll have all that up there. Also, we will have a big announcement coming out probably 3 weeks or so, 3 to 4 weeks. It's something that HamCation has never done it before. So I might have to see about coming back on the show and making that big announcement here on the show. So it'd be the first for HamCation. So other than that, we'd love to see everybody in February at HamCation, February 13th, 14th, and 15th in Orlando, Florida.
And
Very
get your award
interesting.
nominations in. The award nominations close on November 1st. So
November
go to
1st.
the website and let's get those. Please go and nominate somebody you think has really contributed to amateur radio.
Definitely. All right. Well, thank you guys for being here, and we'll have you back on for that big announcement. Appreciate it. Everyone go check out HamCation. I think we're going to send it over to Don.
All right, good stuff from Orlando. That's a bucket list thing for me. I'm going to have to figure out a way to get up there one of these years real soon. Haven't made that one yet. Let's go ahead and get into the news of the week, shall we, from Amateur Radio Newsline. From Amateur Radio Newsline report number 2499, this is Ham Nation headlines for Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. Our top story takes us to Equatorial Guinea, where the government has suspended ham radio licenses after what it called unauthorized operations of a de-expedition.
As de-expeditioners called off the 3C0W and 3C3W activations in Equatorial Guinea, the government suspended all amateur radio licenses in the country. Authorities made the announcement saying that a visiting ham radio operator gained access to sensitive areas in the country with radio equipment that was unauthorized. The government announcement did not identify the radio operators, but various DX sites online listed Eurus YL2GM and Eugene EA5EL as de-expeditioners operating from Annabon Island in the South Atlantic Ocean. Both call signs were seen on the spotting clusters, with 3C0W's last spot made on the 11th of September, accompanied by the comment that there was bad news reported on the dxworld.net. That report said the operation had gone forward, quote, without properly verifying the legality of the equipment or the compliance of the assigned frequencies with national regulations, unquote. This is John Williams, VK4JJW.
There's more to John's story. You can hear it all in the current Amateur Radio Newsline report. Organizers of next year's World Radio Sport Team Championship have announced the location of the event's headquarters in England.
The market town of St Neots in Cambridge has been chosen as the headquarters site for the World Radio Sport Team Championship next year. Organisers have identified the 3 hotels close to the event where activities will take place from the 8th to the 14th of July. There is also a renewed call for volunteers for various roles at either the headquarters site or one of the clusters. For additional details or to volunteer, visit the link at the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org. This is Jeremy Bucci for NJH.
If you have some time and a desire to give back to our amateur radio hobby and service, ARDC wants you. Newsline anchor Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, tells us more.
Amateur Radio Digital Communications is looking for volunteers to serve on one of 4 committees. They include the Grants Advisory Committee, which helps identify potential grant-making opportunities, the Technical Advisory Committee, which provides input on policies and technologies for 44net, Amateur Radio's Internet IP address space, the Grants Evaluation Team, whose responsibilities include reporting on the results of funded grants, and the Conduct Review Committee, which oversees compliance with the Code of Conduct. The ARDC also needs 44net portal ticket handlers who help verify call signs and other information for 44net address space requests, and help on its grants communications team, whose members write summaries to share with the public about the results of the ARDC funded grants. Details about the application process, volunteer qualifications, and time commitments for any of these posts can be found on the ARDC's blog. A link to the relevant post appears in the text version of this week's newscast at arnewsline.org.
And that's all from the Amateur Radio Newsline, your independent source for amateur radio news since 1976 at arnewsline.org. With John Williams, VK4JJW, Jeremy Boot, G4NJH, Neil Rapp, WB9VPG, Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT at the news desk in New York, and our news team across the globe. I'm Don Wilbanks, AE5DW. 7-3, we'll see you next time here on Ham Nation. And a big thanks to the Newsline crew. We do not have anything from Dr. T tonight because it's her daughter's 16th birthday, and they've been having a 16th Sweet 16 day for her today. So she's been a little bit busy, but of course you can check her out at the usual places. That will be spaceweatherwoman.com. That will be her X feed at Tamitha Scove, and of course her Facebook page, and of course the YouTube page as well at Tamitha Scove. So that's all I have from here. I guess we'll, Amanda, is it back over to you? Yes.
So someone brought up the fact that AR News is about to hit their 2500th episode, if you call it that. And they want to know if you're going to do anything special.
Very possibly. You know, yeah, we just did $24.99. So I am not the editor. That would be Karen Eve Murray, but I would assume that she has got something special planned. We'll see what she comes up with, and I'll check with her and find out.
Do a quick, get a few of you on the air, give out some WA6 ITF contacts. And
that's a very good idea. Yeah, that's right. We haven't activated the club called WA6 ITF, which of course, as you see, there is right over my head, the other side. Yeah, Bill Pasternak's his license plate from his car. So yeah, we have his call sign for the Amateur Radio Newsline Amateur Radio Club, and we haven't done an activation in some time. It might be something good to do to celebrate the 2500th episode. Huh.
Wow.
I'll hand out some contacts. That'd be
absolutely
a fun time. Okay, well, thank you, Don, for being here tonight.
Thank you,
I appreciate you. Stick around because the rest of the night is basically open conversation with all of us hosts. So I am going to exhibit my new segment. So everybody ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Let me screen share.
Entire screen. Yes. Screen 2.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. And
oh, here we go.
Oh, it's already getting good. Okay. So
all right, chat, key up. I'm looking for comments, so go ahead.
Audience, I'm going to always need your help on making this segment work because I have a feeling the things that I will be discussing will be local news stories only, and only 25% will I find nationally to have this segment. So everyone send me your things. So, okay. Going to our first one, my computer. Okay. So Ham posted this, but obviously this has been a big story. Yesterday was the Secret Service shutting down this whole communications outfit. And this Ham here says, I'm glad ham radio is an off-grid backup for things like this, whether you do it for fun, field day POTA, blah, blah, blah. Being involved in areas and other emergency services, we are prepared for disruptions like this, whether they happen or not. Okay, correct. We, on a personal level, are probably set up for this, but this being such a huge network of what they shut down to what that network could have shut down, I'm not sure how Aries would help. If you guys have ideas in the chat room, just chat away.
Amanda,
I don't know how.
Could you explain, I'm 13 years old, what this is about? Because I don't even know the background on this.
I was hoping someone had more information than me. What I read.
Okay.
And CBS has an actual really good news report on this, and I would be happy to put that link in there. But basically, they discussed, see all of these little boxes here.
Yes,
these are all what they call a SIM network. So they had this whole network that was going to overtake other people's networks, if I'm explaining this correctly, and basically give everyone else a loss of service because of what they were doing. Now, what they were going to be doing with that, I have no idea, or if it was just going to be, someone just said it in chat, like DDoS.
Oh, it's
like,
a DDoS attack. Oh,
yeah. So like
okay.
they would shut down everybody's network because of all of this bot information going on. It would tear down all of your comms. Now, they don't get specific, and this is where I would like to get more geeky on this, is if they what it was all going to interrupt, or if we're just talking it was going to interrupt your FirstNet and your cell phone service, or because I don't see where they have VHF or UHF or anything here to disrupt 800, 700 or anything else.
Okay.
I don't see how that's possible.
So
And what I'm looking at here.
yeah, I did pull up the website, and thank you as always to Jody with the amazing comment that led me in the right path. So basically, it's saying that they disrupted this telecom network that threatened NYC during a UN gathering. So they had the potential of using these systems to create a DDoS attack. And so law enforcement discovered 300 SIM servers, which is over 100,000 SIM cards, enabling encrypted anonymous communication and capable of sending 30 million text messages per minute. Officials say the servers.
God.
So I'm going to put that in perspective for a second. You know, we've talked about like outages, T-Mobile, AT&T. Whenever they go down, I'll make a video like, haha, see ham radio, ha ha ha. This is like man-made version of that, where no, the services are fine, but the services cannot service you because they're being inundated. Yeah, so a DDoS is a denial of service attack, right? So yeah, anyway, the distributed denial of service attack. So it basically clogs the pipes.
Be able to help? Probably not. That's
So
fine.
Can I ask a clarifying question then, right? So
Yes.
in an emergency, let's say cell phones are down, you cannot communicate, and ARRLs, they deploy to a public area, and it's to be able to send communications. Maybe they need an emergency service, right? So how would that work?
This is the part that has never, and I'm going to fully admit this, and I was going to go over my set paperwork, because our set that here in Colorado is based on domestic terrorism, of taking down cell phone networks or attacking this cell phone tower and this power grid, and it's kind of a joint effort. But how do you tie in the ARRLs group? How do we respond? Who calls us?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great question. Sometimes, okay, I hate saying this, self-deploying might actually have to be the, and do you know where people go? I would never tell people to go to a police station. Don't do that. Go to a fire station.
They're
and I think
cool. They're pretty chill.
They're pretty, they're much more laid back, and they're not so secure. So like there's always going to be a fireman out somewhere, but your police are usually behind a bunch of glass and security gates everywhere. So having a face-to-face with a cop would be really hard unless you waved one down. At that point, if you're going around waving a cop down saying what's going on, things are probably pretty bad, and I don't think I would be in the road waving anybody down. But go to your fire station is my personal recommendation. You guys can argue this on my screen over here, my chat. But that's one of the things I would do. But bring your radio. Like, do you need any help? Because I'm realizing things are getting bad and I'm not seeing any reports. But your call outs for your ARRLs team need to be practiced, and you need to have a plan in place. And that place is going to be your backup power repeaters. And that's where you're going to hear the most traffic, and you're going to hear your ARRLs rendezvous. And that's where people are going to say, meet up at the EOC. What is an EOC, everybody? Our Emergency Operations Center. Most of those are only manned by your emergency manager and usually a couple of other administrative personnel. So depending on what time, if this is in the middle of the day, someone will be there. But if it's in the middle of the night, your emergency manager might not even be out yet, or they might just be trying to get the call themselves, or somebody is going to their door because none of the phones work. So do you know that they get called out the same way? If they don't have their DTR radio working or their cell phone, they don't know.
Right.
So somebody has to show up physically to their house and say, get out of bed and
Right.
get to your office.
Beat on the door.
Yeah, because that's all that they're going to know. And so hopefully your Aries emergency coordinator or somebody that is entrusted with this kind of thing would also show up at the EOC and say, is there something we can do at this point in time? You know, that is what we would call self-deploying, but what else are you going to do? Okay. The rest of you just sit at home and listen on those battery backup, or solar or whatever you have for your backup repeaters, listen there. And of course Simplex, but it's hard to get that tie-in. Now this, I think that the networks would have gone down if had this plan been fulfilled, but they would still, again, they weren't taking out your radio systems. They were taking out cell phones. So,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the whole follow-up. So could Aries help? I don't know.
It's interesting.
To be determined. So just it's
something
just
to be thought about.
Yeah.
Think about it. Yeah. What would you actually do? And how would you know they needed your help when these kind of things happen? So, okay. Oh, this was the article. I had that brought up. Okay. Next, could Aries have helped? Or this is really just, could ham radio have helped? These poor hunters, this became national news. It started here in Colorado.
Yeah, that was sad.
First of all, okay, I'm going to compose myself here. Do not come to our state unprepared to go hunting, first of all. But second, every hunter needs to have numerous ways of communication and be sources of alerts. So everybody needs to have your bowfing. Okay. Boy, everything I'm going to talk about tonight is totally against what I usually preach. So
have the Bowfags, kids.
But if it saves a life, it's okay.
This is what that's where I'm going with this, is that when you get lost as a hunter or as a hiker, who gets called out to come look for you? Anybody?
Search and rescue.
Search and rescue. Okay. So they're going to be talkie. So,
you done good, Josh.
So you might want to take that little bowfing, and please don't ever talk on these frequencies unless you absolutely need to, but find out your search and rescue frequencies so you can hear if they're talking to try to find you. And I say that, like, maybe you hadn't checked in with your family and they're searching for you and you didn't even know you needed to be searched for. There are those things where you're just having a really good hunting experience and you've been waiting for this elk to come by and you know it's going to come by, but you stayed out a day later, but you couldn't call and talk to anybody. So they already sent out a team and you're like, oh, oops, that's for me. Those kind of things. So do you know your search and rescue frequencies here in Colorado? They would be MRA 1 and 2. So those are just some thoughts. Unfortunately, these two hunters, if anyone hadn't seen the story, they died by lightning.
Oh no.
I saw that.
Know.
Yeah, that's pretty sudden.
So all of the chatter here in Colorado, all of us that have been in the hills, we're just like, this is so crazy. 2 hunters found dead, and that's before we knew the cause. And we're like, even that weirdest, craziest hypothermia, 2 people probably wouldn't die right next to each other,
right.
Being lost. And so this was just unheard of. And when we found out it was a lightning strike, again, having that radio and having that severe weather alerts, could amateur radio have helped?
With a weather alert, yes. Okay,
yes.
yeah. I hear where you're going. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So all of us here in Colorado, we have Skywarn, obviously, and as well as all over the United States. So when severe weather, we get on our repeaters and we have Skywarn nets and we start alerting about severe weather in all of these areas. And now it has lit a fire under me to be more into that and making sure that random hunters are coming to our state and aren't used to these areas, and maybe they're in a new hunting unit and they're not familiar with the weather, to start reporting those weather reports like 4 times a day. I don't know, morning, afternoon, lunchtime, and in the evening, just so in case somebody is hearing it and they can't maybe hit the repeaters with their little bow things, but maybe they can hear these broadcasts.
Right.
And I say broadcast, you're not supposed to broadcast, but the reports. So
I don't think
Yes,
enough
I
people
think it
know
would
what
help.
to do in a lightning storm either, right? Because it starts raining and it
That
starts
is
lightning,
true.
and everybody's like, "Get to a tree. There's rain protection under that tree," and you're like, "That's not where you want to
That's not
be
the
with
best
the
thing in the world you
lightning."
want to do. No.
And I think that's I think that's what actually gets people killed, unfortunately, in these situations.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
100%. And I know it can be really what's the word? No people around, no homes, no anything. But if you could possibly find some kind of dwelling, break into somebody's shed, and if they're not home, a lot of those are seasonal. Down where these guys were hunting, so probably nobody was in the homes. Yeah, leave a note. Like, I broke your door to get in to save my life. You don't know if it was life saving at
Right.
that point in time. That's what makes you not do it, right? Because you're like, oh, this is just against all of my morals to break in somewhere to shelter myself. But leave a note, leave your phone number, and say, I'm gonna make this right. But be safe.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. So that's my could Aries ham radio help you?
I like it. Yeah, this is
Okay.
good.
Yeah, very good.
So
Good food for thought. Absolutely.
yes. Oh, I'm gonna go. Let me switch.
Ham it or can it now? We're gonna switch over.
Well, I was gonna go to my set real quick. Like, so it's so funny that this whole Secret Service shut down these comms thing when this last week I've been working on set, and the whole thing was coordinated attacks on power and communications infrastructure.
Oh wow.
And that
yeah.
that came about because a guy in Woodland Park, Colorado, with all of his wisdom, decided he was just going to turn the power off to a cell phone tower, and it took out a whole town's
Oh my goodness.
communications. I'm disturbed by this because how could he just get to the power box and just shut it down? Why is that not locked or something? Anyhow, I digress. So our whole overview of our set this year is regional power blackouts, cellular and internet outages, 911 service overload, hospitals, fuel supply issues because of power outages. And the thing about, I wouldn't say it's a fuel supply issue per se, but also being able to process your credit cards if you're trying to get fuel.
There you go. Because a lot of that
That's-
goes
Oh,
over
yeah.
cell. That's right. Yeah.
Right. So that's more the problem, is not necessarily the fuel. It's there and ready to disperse, but nobody has a way of paying. Have cash, y'all. Just have a little bit of cash always. Anyhow, okay, let's go to, one other thing I'm really proud of this year is my scoring for set. I put together like a whole thing, almost like field
multipliers?
day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So
Do
the
they have a
first
train whistle,
thing-
Amanda? Is there a train whistle?
I got my train whistle.
That's awesome.
On hand. You never know when you need that on HF.
Oh, well,
So the actual first multiplier on this was, how was Aries activated? By RF, group text, email, other, and you can have multiples. So every way you announce to your Aries group that there's an activation, you get 10 points. Number of Aries members responding times 2, those kind of things. And then very funny, Frank, it gets down to like emergency power repeaters utilized, you get 50 points. Where digital modes used, 25 points. Established MOUs, mutual aid agreements, basically with your served agencies, 50 points for each one that you have. An after action report is 25 points. So this is really fun. It makes it a little bit more competitive. It makes the districts actually want to do this. So
That's cool.
nice.
yeah. And the ARRL has their own too, but it's not as detailed as that. So, all right, let's get to Ham It or Can It and have some fun, shall we? This was cool. I found this on Insta. And this is a LoRa APRS Digipeater iGate for local mountains. The thing, I'm just going to make a comment about Meshtastic and LoRa, is that they update their software all the time, that we have found it impossible to deploy something on a mountaintop for people, because we constantly have to update it, and it's just not feasible at this point in time. If they could just have one standard platform and stop updating the software, but that's my 2 cents.
I have a solar node on my roof that hasn't stopped functioning, even though it's an old version, for like 6 months plus.
Really?
You don't have to.
That's good to know.
It'll continue to communicate. You just won't pick up like the extra features. And a lot of times those extra features are on the application anyway, and the firmware is just like the connection to that feature on the app to unlock it. But if it's doing the repeating and the messaging, you're fine. You can be on an old version and it'll keep running just fine. Yeah.
Very good. Good to know that.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm just going to put out a disclaimer. I was salty when I was picking these out. So
here we go.
Oh, this would be good.
But it's APRS digipeating too, so that's great. I like that.
Okay. This one was important, and Josh has already done a show with Dave Minster. He had on there and passed the bill. So if you guys haven't done this or you don't know about it, you've been under a rock. So hopefully everybody has taken the time to fill in their call sign. Josh, I'm sure your show was great. You guys got all the questions answered and all that good stuff. So good. Okay, this. There,
that's it. There it is.
After Roger again. God.
Leave Roger alone.
Can you guys just ease up on Roger? He's no Karen. What did he do to you?
He has enough problems. That's funny.
Okay.
Om sweet Om. Oh, that's nice. I like that too.
Moving on. This is this guy just got his license. I've had the honor of being a newly licensed amateur radio. First contact a few times, but Saturday was the first on my new call sign, and I don't have cards made up yet. Reach out, Joe. But he says, so I wasn't able to include a QSL card with the ARRL First Contact Award Certificate. That's a thing?
Oh. I didn't know.
It is.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Have them call Gordo. I have 100 First Contact Award blanks.
There you go.
I did not know this was a thing. Like, I see all of the new hams that have got licensed. I get a report every month. And had I have known this, I would put out like some kind of promo to remind them to send in for their first contact certificate and stuff. I didn't know this was a thing. So now you all know if you didn't know. Okay. This. Ham radio operators were created because smartphone users need heroes.
Okay. Boy.
It's a little elitist, but okay.
You're familiar with the concept of like cringe? Something is cringy. Like when I see shirts like that, like it's just so cringy. There's one that's like a wife that says like my husband's a woodworker, and like it says how great, like something like that, just so cringy. I don't know. It's like, okay. I mean, yes, we love ham radio, but if you have to denigrate other people to like boost yourself up, I feel like, it's cringy.
And
it's so cringy.
I'm just gonna ham radio was back here in our eras, and smartphones over here in the eras.
Yeah.
It was these things do not correlate. They just happen to crash into each other. Fine, whatever. It's not why ham radio was created, but okay, fine. I was salty when I was doing this.
I think so.
Okay.
But cell phones came from amateur radio technology. So hey, if you got the shirt, wear it. Why not?
Everything came from
pretty much
radio technology
from
radio.
From electronic experimentation, which is what ham radio is and what it began
all of it.
as. So,
and there's a lot of things that could have the same thing over smartphones. So anyhow, okay, this was Randy's helpful hint. Don't forget to get your generators running. So I don't even know what that statement means. Forks before heroes.
No, forks, because spoons need heroes.
Oh
yeah.
Okay. Anyhow,
I haven't fired up my generator in forever. Like in a couple of years. Thankfully, we haven't needed it, but I really need to do that. I
gotta carb clean mine.
Yeah.
So well, me too. The last time I had mine, we had a tropical storm, I think, barreling down on us, and I had to Amazon overnight myself a new carburetor for mine. So, but I think I've saved it this time with the carburetor drained.
Clean the
so
carbs and change the oil.
Yeah.
Change the oil.
Yeah, I need to do that too. Yeah, I got to do all that stuff.
Yes.
Yep.
There's two things. If it's been sitting all year, change the fuel as well, because it's all gummy and yucky. And
it's empty. The tank is empty. I let it run all the way out until it died. So I know that's.
And if you've ran it all summer for all of your camping experiences and all of your POTAs and all of your outdoor stuff, just do some PMing on it. So
it's a machine. You got to maintain it.
That's right. Okay. this.
Oh, mantises. Or is that a mantis? I don't know.
Yes, there's praying mantises. No, I think those are
Dragonflies.
It's like
dragonflies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they look a lot like praying mantises. Anyway,
that's cool.
the photo is mute point on this. Ham radio operators should, it's either I'm salty or this group is salty. I'm not sure. Ham radio operators should use phonetics only when needed or requested. Good amateur practice prohibits the use of phonetics at all times. Bro,
Absolutely
take
insane.
a break.
What
Yeah,
an
really.
unhinged post that is. That is so crazy. That will drive me up the wall if somebody is not using phonetics. Like, you don't know how you sound on the other side, particularly if that's
Right.
like, if it's a quiet, like if you are barely making it on a DX contact, you definitely are going to use standard NATO phonetics. That's crazy.
Man, I do so many even like repeater nets, and the fact that I couldn't tell if they said P or B pisses me off more than anything.
Exactly.
If they just
Right.
would have, if they would have just used the phonetics quickly in the first place. Okay, the phonetics. I've heard some doozies. I even use a doozy for mine. Mine is Kilo 1 Dumb Denver Nuggets, and I will use that until the day I die.
I like it.
I mean, no, phony's like, P as in pneumonia.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a
Exactly.
phony phonetic.
No,
Exactly.
okay.
Z is in xylophone.
Yeah, you heard me right. P is in pneumonia.
Yeah. Well,
I-
we used to have a lot of fun with phonetics with my original call, which was Mike Foxtrot Alpha.
So
Yeah. Okay.
I use your phonetics and use them wisely, and
Right.
they're welcome at all times, unless like I don't even know when it wouldn't be acceptable. I don't know.
No. And even if you use non-standard phonetics, as long as it gets the point across, who cares?
Yeah.
So East Coast Reflector, you're kind of
Yeah.
my targets this week,
Yeah.
but you're being a little bit picky, and I'm guessing that
Yeah.
the reflector means it's a huge repeater system somewhere.
Yeah.
If you guys want to put rules on your users and your donors that are helping sustain that, by
Yeah.
all means. But
Yeah. So that brings me to my phonetic of choice right now, which would be Lima Uniform Foxtrot, or in other words, lighten up, Francis.
Yep.
That's good.
I like it. Okay, do I have anything else? Nope, that was it. So
I like the
I-
picture though; those are
I
cute.
do.
I like
I
that.
like it.
use the phony phonetics, whatever. Do you use what it takes for people to hear you and
It's
understand what
true.
you're saying?
It's true. If you go through the NATO phonetics and they didn't catch it, like on the second try, like if you want to throw a J as Japan, like
Right.
okay,
Always
like,
use
yeah.
those countries. Always.
Yeah,
Z is
yeah, absolutely.
Zanzibar or something like
Yeah,
that.
and
Yeah.
if you're from the
That's
South,
right.
you can't not use sugar for S. Like you got to use sugar.
Right.
Everybody
And a
you know,
zebra.
Right.
and
Yep.
zebra.
Everyone
That's right.
does,
So
yeah.
I mean, that's those are just colloquialisms, I guess. But they help occasionally. So
They
I
do.
heard somebody pronounce Zanzibar as a phonetic as Zanzibar once.
oh,
Zanzibar.
I about fell off the chair.
Jeez.
Like, Zan's what?
Gordo,
Zanzibar?
Gordo,
Okay.
do you use any weird phonetics to say your call sign ever?
WB6 never out of answers.
Hey,
There you go.
that's a good one. That's a really good one.
There you go.
That's
That's a
pretty
very
good.
good one.
Jeff says
The,
K0 just say cheese. So
I like that.
That's good.
I
The
like
club
my
I was
phony
president
phonetic.
of. The club I was president of on the West Bank of New Orleans was Whiskey 5 Alpha Bravo Delta, and the original clubhouse was in Algiers, Louisiana. So we were the Algiers beer drinkers.
It all
That's
works. All right.
It does. It
right.
all works.
Chat room, tell them if you haven't already. Tell me what you use for your phonetics, and that wraps up our show. So, sorry,
Yeah.
getting a phone call. Join us on our nets. We have D-Star and 14 Charlie. We're looking for a new 40-meter host, so reach out about that. If not, I guess we'll have to wrap up doing 40 meters, then we'll just do the D-Star either way. But we'd like to have an HF net as well. So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Help us out.
I'm seeing some fun ones on there. Happy Ham Trucker. I love that one, Chavez.
a good one.
Wyoming 7, Kentucky. All right. Well, thank you everybody for being here tonight. Join us again October 8th.
And Gordo will be at Pacificon.
Oh,
so
yeah.
bring lemons because we're going to get juice, that is E equals IR, out of lemons in our
Oh, nice.
instructor seminar from the ARRL. See you at Pacificon in
Very
2
cool.
weeks.
Thank you, Gordo.
And Don, I put a graphic together and I left it on my work computer. But a big happy birthday to Don, who turns
thank you.
65 tomorrow.
birthday.
Tomorrow, yeah,
Happy
tomorrow.
B-Day. Happy
Thank
B-Day,
you very
Don.
much. I appreciate that. I already got my first birthday greeting on Facebook from a ZL call.
Of course.
So of course, yeah, it's always your birthday first in New Zealand. So
Yep,
There you
that's
go.
thank you
right.
much for that. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Have
All
a good
right.
night, everybody. Have a good weekend.
See you
73.
Pacific.
Thank you,
On.
7. Thank you, guests, as well. Thank you, guests. They're
Yes.
still hanging out. So 73, everybody have a great rest of your week. And get out and play some radio, okay? Why don't you do that?
Orlando.
There you go.
Orlando. 73.